Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy. And this is your weekly reading where I connect with the messages from the angels, what it is that we need to know for us to make the best of the week, to best navigate this week. So what is it that we need to know about the energy? So we're going to be talking about the channeled messages, what it is that you need to know, and then also dive into the tarot to build upon the messages that we have. How are you guys feeling? I'm really curious how you're feeling this week. This is an interesting energy. I was talking last week about how, sorry, there's like some cars driving by and they're crazy loud. But anyway, I was talking last week about how this energy has been bringing up some old stuff for us. And that has really been made much more clear for me this week as to what's going on with that, as to what is happening there with that. We are being prepared. And so you may find that there are things that are coming up for you right now that you already thought that you dealt with, that you already thought that you worked through, that you already felt that you mastered. You get the idea. And all of a sudden, this old stuff is coming up this week. And a little bit last week too, right? We might have seen the beginning of that. And so it's like, okay, all of a sudden this is here. And I feel like this energy is feeling as though it's threatening to pull us backwards, pull us into a place that we don't want to go back to, right? We're different people now. And I think that by recognizing that these things are showing up, we are also acknowledging how much we have changed, how much things have shifted, how much work we have done over the past few years, and acknowledging that. And we are, as a collective, moving in an incredibly powerful direction. So I asked about, like, what is this about? Like, why are we experiencing this? And part of what I heard in connection with this is that this is the training ground to our destiny. So what the heck does that mean, right? It's preparing us, right? It's allowing us to revisit the work that we have done. It's allowing us to build upon the work that we have done. And it is providing us with the strength, the skills, the tools, the awareness, the clarity, the whatever it is that we are needing in order for us to step into our destiny and to be the most successful version of ourselves in that. How powerful is that? Doesn't that make you look at it in a little bit of a different way? Because I think that I know myself, like, I felt frustrated with some things that have been coming up again. Like, I thought I dealt with this. Why is this coming up for me again? Right? And I think that we will continue to build upon this work and to do this work. And can we see it as, an opportunity? I think that we're going to be doing that as we we're moving into Mercury retrograde energy on the 21st. And we also go right into eclipse season on the other side of that. So we're going to be doing some inner work, but this is feeling like it's laying that foundation before we do some of that inner work. And so can we view it as training ground, as preparation, and can we treat it accordingly? Almost with even a lightheartedness or a challenge, the energy of it being a challenge that we're willing to take on so that we can do this work in order to get to where it is that we need to be. So it's helping us to work on a higher level of learning for the things that we've already been working on. So if you've been, for example, working on faith over fear, you're really going to be learning how to, if you take this as an opportunity, to lean into your faith. If you've been working on changing your thoughts, your perceptions, because our thoughts create our experience, right? So we want to give our mental energy to those things that really matter, right? And be really mindful of that. What am I giving my mental energy to? And so if we've been working on that, we may find that we're doing a lot of mental gymnastics to kind of bring ourselves back to the thoughts that we want to be thinking, as opposed to old thought patterns that no longer serve us. But it's coming up again to give us the opportunity to work through it and release it for good. If we've been working on setting boundaries, we may find that we're needing to do more of that, or that we're doing that in a bit of a different way, or that those are being tested in a way so that we can respond in a way that's different. If we've been working on trust, we're being tested with that. So you guys get the idea. Whatever it is that you've been working on, this is being challenged for us right now in order to support us in the bigger picture. I also very much feel like it's a very triggering energy. And I think that it's triggering a lot on our end in terms of us wanting to check on things to make sure that it's okay. I've said to a few people this week, we want to make sure that we're not checking so much, because that message has come up a lot. It's come up a lot for me, right? To stop checking on things, because the more that we check, and so what would be an example of checking? So, if you are working on something and you want to see if you are progressing. One of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm wanting to build my YouTube channel some more. So if you're watching this on my YouTube, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. But I noticed that I've been checking it more. Where is that number at? How is that going? Checking. And that actually is creating a blocking energy for me. So I got that message, I've got to take that step back and stop checking. So wherever you're checking too much, is it going to be okay? Trying to seek that reassurance. Go within and seek that reassurance within that trust, in that energy of knowing that all is well and that you are always supported. Everything is always working out for you. You are always divinely guided and protected. And the more that we keep coming back to that thought, maybe that's the affirmation for the week. I am divinely protected and guided always. I am divinely protected and guided always, because the more that we come back to that, the more that we actually begin to believe it. And this is going to be really important. What you are giving your mental energy to, especially right now, is going to manifest. So if I were you, what I am doing is making sure that I'm keeping my thoughts in a really positive place, in a really faith-filled place, in a place of trusting that everything is working out for me and everything is working out exactly the way that it's meant to. So I'm doing my best to flow with it. And that's definitely what I'm recommending that we're doing right now, is for us to work on flowing with the way that things are unfolding, understanding that it's all part of the bigger picture and it's all part of this preparation for our destiny and the place that we're going to. And I think if we view it as preparation, that feels different, right? That feels lighter. That feels like, okay, so I just have to do this work so that I can get to where I need to be. Like I said, this energy to me feels very triggering as well. So I think that we're going to find old feelings resurfacing. This is to give you the opportunity to understand them, to explore them, to work through them, to figure out what to do with them. Maybe it's coming up to give you, when you feel this, you need to work on your thought process around this. So it's maybe giving us an opportunity to change our thinking, to change our perceptions, to change the stories that we are telling ourselves. This is very much shaking up the stories that we're telling ourselves and showing us the stories that we're telling ourselves, and showing us if you don't like the story, if you don't like the way that you feel, change the story, change what you are telling yourself, change what you are saying to yourself about this world and the way that the world works and how supported you are, and make that into a story that you want to be true. Start to have those conversations with yourself about the story that you now want to step into. I think it's going to be really important for us to continue to come back to our light again and again and again. And this is going to take a lot of your energy right now. But we have the energy right now, right? Right now, the energy is still moving forward. Once we go into that Mercury retrograde toward the end of the month, we have some planet or another in retrograde through the rest of the year. So this is the most forward-moving energy that we have throughout the year. And that doesn't mean that things can't happen the rest of the year. Of course they can. But right now we're going to probably feel more energy than most other times throughout the year. So this is a time also to get things done, to take the action. If you've been like going back and forth, do I go forward with this thing that I want to go forward, and your soul is calling for it and you're wanting to do it, this is a fantastic time to take a leap of faith. If you've been wanting to say something, wanting to have a conversation, wanting to be vulnerable, wanting to put yourself out there, this is a fantastic time to do that. This is a fantastic time to take those inspired actions that we're feeling called to take. And by the way, I always like to make sure that I cover this. Inspired actions are very different from actions that are based in fear. So inspired actions are going to be these things where it's like, I am taking this action because I'm excited about it, or because I'm moving in the direction of something that I'm excited about, or because I just feel this burst of inspiration and I feel compelled intuitively to do it, not because I'm afraid that, my finances aren't going to be okay, or I'm afraid that this situation isn't going to work out for me. We don't want to take actions simply because we feel afraid of them. We want to take actions because our soul is guiding us to, our higher power is guiding us to take these actions. That's going to be really, really important to take advantage of this energy while we have it. Let's take a look at the cards though. The cards really support all of this. We have the Empress, right? Things are happening for us, and even if we're not seeing that, things are developing, things are shifting. I think that we can agree that the energy is moving forward and that some things have developed. Now, it may not have developed in the way that you're like exactly according to the plan that you have, but I promise you this, it has developed according to the plan that God has for you. So can we lean into that? Can we trust in that? The Empress is also, I like to think about her like a magnet to all of the things that she wants. So she becomes the magnet. She uses and utilizes her thoughts to magnetize to her the things that she wants. She doesn't chase, she attracts, right? So she creates this abundant life for herself where she has all of these things, but she sits there in this beautiful, divine, feminine energy and she lets it come to her. So she sets her intentions and then she trusts that when it's meant for her, or if it's meant for her, it will arrive into her experience. And because of that, she gets to just kind of chill and relax and take action only when she's inspired to, and to allow it to be magnetized to her. So I've been saying the past several readings, it gets to be easier. So how can we make this be easier? And where are we taking all of these actions or doing all of these things out of fear and exhausting ourselves when really we need to be working on tweaking those thoughts and working on telling ourselves a different story so that we can start to magnetize to us the very things that we want to have happen. The thoughts that you're putting out there are creating the magnet. So changing those thoughts can create or magnetize to you different experiences. I think that this is so important because right next to that we have the Page of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Your thoughts are very important this week. Be mindful of what you are giving your mental energy to. I also think that we may find ourselves having these beautiful ideas and these moments of clarity and being really inspired this week. Pay attention to where you feel inspired. Pay attention to where you feel compelled to do things in a different way, or to perceive things in a different way, or to try to look at things from a different perspective, because that is going to be really key as you're navigating this week. Then we have the Three of Pentacles. Things coming together to create the things that we want to create, right? Allowing ourselves to take the actions that we feel called to take. And we may be finding ourselves working together with other people to create a shared vision in some way. You know, I also am hearing with this, like, allow help, let help in, let people help you. Okay, so maybe you're trying to do so much on your own. I need to take this advice. I know that I'm doing way too much on my own and I really need to let more help in with some things that I'm doing and relinquish control. right? And so I know some of you also need that message of relinquishing the control and letting help in and letting the people who want to support you so that you can work together to create something really, really powerful. The next card that we have here is the Six of Cups. There is this energy right now, and maybe this is like that Mercury retrograde pre-shadow, but I don't think so. I think this is like just kind of been here of looking back on the past or past energy arriving into our current experience. And again, this all feels like part of that training ground to our destiny, right? Maybe we are responding differently to situations from the past because we've learned and we've grown and we're different. Or maybe we're connecting with people from the past and that looks different, that dynamic looks different because we're choosing to show up with a different dynamic. We're choosing to show up with a different energy. We're choosing to show up with a different perspective. Or maybe we are learning from circumstances in the past and we're saying, you know what, moving forward, I'm going to do this differently. This is going to look different moving forward. And the last card that we have here, I'm dropping it, is the King of Wands card. The go for it energy, the take action energy, the follow your inspiration, follow your excitement, follow the direction that you are feeling called to move in, because that is always going to pay off. But definitely this is a great week for us to take those actions that we're feeling called to take. Do you hear that horn honking? That's your sound response, right? That's like an exclamation point for that message. So taking that action, taking advantage of this forward moving energy and doing those things that maybe you've been putting off, and now it's time to move forward with that. So I hope that these messages resonate with you. If they do, I always appreciate a like, a comment below, a share, however you feel called to interact with these messages. I also, if you're watching on my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you are watching this on my Facebook, I will post the link to my YouTube below so that you can swing by and get yourself subscribed if you aren't already. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you soon with another video. Take care, guys.